I'm going to answer the question whether we can cast something in plaster of Paris or mastercast and then use resin over the top. And I think this way we're going to be able to give some really good details in the clock and make them a little bit different. And these are great sellers as well. I've got my casting medium mixed up. I'm going to put it into the mold. Now I want to make sure that I put it in and push it quite firmly into the numbers first to ensure that those numbers are full and they've got no gaps around the edges of the numbers. I'm going to fill the rest of it up. Now, I don't want this too deep because remember, I want to put some resin over the top of this. So that's those two casts. Now what I'm going to do is leave those for a couple of hours. I want to make sure they're fully cured before I take them out. Well, I got carried away and I demolded this one before I turned the camera on because I couldn't help myself. This one, I always do them gently because you don't want to be breaking bits off them. Well, that one's come out really nice, I think. A little bit of overpour there, but that's easily sorted out. All I do in those sorts of situations is take my scalpel and very gently bring that down. You'd never know. I did a video on my other channel on the best products to cast with that give you the strength and value for money as well. Check that one out. I'll link it at the end of this one. You'll really enjoy it. And my next job is to paint these and seal them up. I'll do that off camera. Well, I've painted both of these now and sealed them all up. And of course, I've made them sparkly. This one I've done in iridescent black paint with gold lettering in glitter. And I've sealed it by putting some varnish on so that glitter's not going to come off. This one I also used the Arteza paint and I did it lime green, highlighting the letters with black iridescent paint, and then I went over it with the dragonfly paint, and I think that's also come out really, really pretty. They're different, and that's what sells. One of them I'm going to turn into a kitchen clock, so that'll go into there like that, and then hang on the wall from there with the clock workings going behind it. This one, I want it to be a round clock, but I don't have a round mould big enough to put this in, so what I'm going to do is improvise. I've got this silicone mould here. It is the ideal size. So what I'm going to do is fill that mould up, but from that side, I'm taking some acetate here, wrapping it around quite tightly onto this mould, and then I'm going to sellotape these two together. I've got my band of silicone cut now, and to ensure this doesn't leak, I'm also going to put a bead of silicone all the way around this mould, where I'm going to put the acetate on, and that should prevent this from leaking. It won't ruin this mould because it's the outside of this mould I'm doing this on rather than anything on the inside, so I'll still be able to use the mould, but it might look a little bit tatty, but that's not a problem. I'm going to wet my finger and now evenly put that round, and I can put this on here because silicone is about the only thing that will stick silicone to silicone. Pushing it in all the way around so it makes contact with it, and then I'm going to let that cure up for a couple of hours before I pour. I'm going to be using the ×3 J Diction UV Protecting Resin because it's a brilliant resin and it also has great UV protection in it. I'm putting quite a lot of glitter in my first layer because I want to make this as sparkly as possible. You know me and my sparkly. Giving that a good stir in and pouring that on here now. Now, I don't want to have this too thick because if it's too thick, once the top layer of resin goes on and the clock goes on, it's going to be difficult to put the hands through. Making sure I've got it right the way to all the edges, and now putting in my white glitter. I just want to say an awesome thank you to everyone that got me a coffee last month. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to keep these channels going. It is so appreciated. Leveling all that out, and as you can see, this is quite a thin layer I've put on here, and I'm making sure I've got it all the way to all the edges. Here's the names of my wonderful members. Thank you so much for all your competition entries. The winner will be drawn out very soon, and the resin prizes will be on their way to you. The keen-eyed of you will notice I've swapped the clock faces around. I don't know why I did that. Just one of those things, I think that happens. I'm placing that in gently, and now pushing that into this resin and allowing that all to cure up. Any resin that gets onto the face now of the clock, I can just wipe off with a baby wipe, delicately pushing that into the area that I want it to be and letting it cure up. I'll do exactly the same with the other clock as well. These have been curing for about 10 hours, so they're nice and firm now to be able to put over the top coat. When you put it over the top coat, make sure that you pour it slowly so you don't add any bubbles at this point, although you can burn them off with a lighter as I'm doing now. I'll also go round with the base of a micro brush and release any of the bubbles that are stuck. These have cured up really well. I'm very pleased with them, and look, not a piece of resin leaked out of there, but the proof is going to be in the pudding when I take this off. These should demold really easily. Never use this for resin if you're going to use it as a charcuterie board or a chopping board, because resin is not, despite what lots of people say, food safe or suitable for being cut on. Now, I love how that's come out, and it shows really well through the back, although we're not too worried about the back because we're not going to be looking at the back. How sparkly it is. And now let's look at this one. Hopefully this one has come out okay, considering what we did to that mold. Now that silicone is not going to come off that mold, it's going to stick on that mold forever, but because it was the outside of that mold, then it really doesn't matter. We've got a bit where it's run down, and I'm not worried about that whatsoever, and it was expected really, but my goodness me, that worked. All I'm going to do is go around it with my deburring tool, take thin layers off it like this, and this is the back of the clock after all anyway. These do take a couple of practices to get used to and learn how to use these deburring tools, but actually I wouldn't be without mine now. They are brilliant. If you don't want that edge there where you can see it's been taken off, all you need to do is brush a tiny bit of UV resin onto it and cure it up, and you'll never know it was there. It'll go lovely and shiny. I'm also going to do the same for the front of the clock as well, where it's got that little bit of shrinkage there, and I'll show you how to do that with UV resin. I've got that done as far as I want it to go now, and it is all cleaned up. I've got an old brush, because once you've used this brush with UV resin, really it isn't going to be much use for anything else. I paint a little bit onto something like this, so if the underside of a shot glass, and then all I do is go around adding the UV resin onto that edge, making sure I cover any bits up that I want to ensure are shiny. I won't cure this for about 3 or 4 minutes. I'm working in an area where I control the light, and the reason I'll leave it for 3 or 4 minutes is it'll give a much more even result rather than being a little bit lumpy in places, which is what you don't want. And then once you're happy that it's all covered, you need to go around it with your UV torch and let that all cure up. I'm using the J. Diction UV resin, and it is absolutely my preferred resin. Once it's cured up, it doesn't go sticky in any way and really does give a great effect. All I'm going to do is exactly the same on the reverse, and then I'll show you how I'm going to fit the mechanisms to both. I finished this one, and I think that one's come out really well. I like it a lot. All the hands do go around. I haven't got any of the batteries, so I can't put them in to show you. I'm really sorry about that. It's a nice size clock, and I think that would look nice in anyone's house. I need to get a hole in the middle, and the easiest way to do that is find a drill bit that is the right size, and this one is. And I've got it on a piece of wood so I don't drill through my mat and through my desk as well. I kind of find the middle, but I'm never too accurate where that sort of thing is concerned. Then I put my drill on where I think that middle is, and then I slowly drill through. And I think that's come all the way through now. I can turn that over, and there we are. We've got the hole. Because the centers of these are made of plaster, they drill through really easily. Give that a wipe over, because I'm sure there's some dust on there. Well, I've only got one of the long ones, and this is a shorter one. So what I need this to do is I need to countersink in here, which should be fairly easy using a larger drill bit to get this to fit. I should have ordered 2 of the larger ones, but didn't. And I want to get these out as quickly as possible. I'm going to counter drill that middle bit, because that should give me the size that I'm looking for. Now, I don't like the look of how that's finished. It makes it look a little bit rough. So what I'm going to do is go in there with a little bit of UV resin before I put that bolt in, brush it on, and that way that will tidy that up all lovely. Well, that's all finished now, and that's cured up lovely, and this is really easy to put on. I always make sure the battery's going down. I don't know why. Pop that on there, put the little washer on, and now this is going to fit on here a treat. Now, don't over tighten these, that's always a mistake. Just hand tighten them so they're not going to move. Then you always put the large hand on first, and that pushes in. Then the minute hand, and then the second hand. Again, we've got another clock. Now, you can paint these hands if you want them a different colour, but I quite like them that colour. They didn't take an awful lot of work. I'd probably sell these for about £25 each, which is about $30. But it was much easier to get a really good result using the plaster, which is what this was all about, as the internal piece. It worked really well, saved me on my resin, painted very easily, and you could put details in it as well. You could paint a whole scene on them much easier than you could in resin, and then set them in resin. Let me know in the comments what you think of these. I really like the way that they've come out. It also gives a good use for this mold. Please move that like button if you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out the video that's coming up next. Also, check out my other crafting channel. It's well worth a look. I do lots of arts and crafts on there. I'd love to see you over there. If you'd like to buy me a coffee or get hold of anything that I've used in this video today, then please check out the description, because I put loads of useful information in there, including links to my website and all sorts of stuff where there's lots of free goodies.